Hey Melody, we're going to take a look at your week 1 assignment 2 project here. Very good, I think, first start to the class. One thing I just kind of ask of you is check out your scanner and try and play around with the settings just a little bit, especially for these beginning assignments where we're not really dealing with an entire composition but having a lot of white space, because I think it's really over brightening, and so some stuff like being able to see technique on the side to side, and in some cases, some of the darker colors, they're getting blown out, they're just overexposed. So there might be some settings on your scanner where you'll be able to control that a little bit more. From what I see here, it feels like you've got a good handle on the technique. The gray blind, I think, is doing a little bit of a better job than the one on the bottom of the kind of the magenta one, where we're seeing a few gaps here and there, which is fine in the beginning, and they will eventually start to minimize as you get used to the technique. The side to side is also good in both of them, although I think you could go in and saturate more along the edges a little bit more and try to get the entire swatch to be just a little bit more even. And again, these are things that we just kind of mentioned now, but you'll find that they just get better and better the more that you do the techniques, and you just get a little more proficient at it. So it's not anything to worry about too much right now. It's just something to kind of keep an eye on. The colored pencil ones are looking good. I can kind of make out some of the colored pencil in some, and not quite as much in others, although I see some nice color mixture of marker and trying to overlay so that you get darker and lighter areas. But I think you're doing a fine job, here. I think some of it is the scan where it is over exposing things, so it's washing out some of the lighter valued stuff, and it's really kind of saturating the darker stuff. But I can see the white and the gradation in white here. I can see some of the darker elements that you're putting in here. So I think it's also looking good. Just keep an eye on your edge quality. Make sure you're cutting as cleanly as you can. I can see that you're cutting your edges here, which is great. You're using a nice kind of thick chisel, which is also good. But you'll want to make sure that you're, some of these areas where they kind of dip under or they go over your line drawing, those are things that you'll want to start to control when we start dealing with a little bit more representational shapes and start shading and things like that. But it's a good start. You've definitely got the technique down. You're cutting, you're making nice consistent strokes, which is good. You're working differently from this one to this one, and there's a nice kind of evenness to this side to side. So I think it's a great start. I'll just say to keep at it, and the next assignment will be much the same, a little bit extra difficulty in terms of navigating smaller shapes and complex spaces, but same basic idea. So just keep at it.